powerful and resilient couples in Marvel history. That's right. The duo that stole our hearts as Wanda and Vision from the TV show WandaVision. And to break them out, let's get this panel started with the man, you know him, you love him, Joe, come on out here.
Thanks, Tiffany, how are you? Wow, there's a lot of people here.
A lot of fun.
That's not it.
It's fun.
My name is J.A.R.V.I.S with Screen Rant. I am honored to be your moderator for this panel. Thank you guys so much for turning out, LA. This is an incredible crowd. But look, we have a limited amount of time, so let's bring them out. Let's hear from them. You know them as Wanda Maximoff and the Vision. Let's bring out Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. Hello. Welcome. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you. How are you? Oh, take a seat. Wow, there's a lot of people, guys. There's a lot of folks. It goes all the way to the end here. Like a fire hazard, I feel like. Oh, yeah. Right? Like an endless sea of people. I love LA Comic-Con. This is my hometown. I love the cosplayers. I love the fandom. But for you guys, are you guys big fandoms? What are your big fandoms? What do you guys geek out about? It doesn't have to be like video games or...
I'm watching Sopranos right now.
First time? Is this the first time?
Yes.
Never seen it.
I'm in season 5.
Television. So Sopranos is the show you're currently watching. Slow Horses. Slow Horses is incredible. Incredible. You know, those plus shows, man, I'll tell you that.
Never watched one.
Well, look, welcome to LA Comic-Con. Look, let's talk about Wanda, let's talk about the Vision, let's also talk about you guys. If you guys weren't sitting up here with me right now, and if you guys could hide amongst the fans and cosplay as any other character, what would you guys be cosplaying as to hide amongst the fans?
Oh, Gary Oldman in Slow Horses. Because he can eat whatever he wants to eat. I'm already growing a beard, and he has one closet, no costume changes.
Alright, Gary Oldman in Slow Horses for Paul.
Princess Peach.
Oh, that's a good answer! That's a great answer. Look, obviously, the MCU has grown incredibly big. There's a lot of characters in it, but you guys, well, you started at the very beginning with Iron Man 1, and that was before you actually had to put on makeup and just go in and do your stuff. How did you end up getting the role as J.A.R.V.I.S? Was that like an audition process? Did Jon Favreau call you?
Yeah, Jon Favreau called me and he said, I have a part of AI that is inside Tony Stark's house, and so I'm looking for an actor with absolutely no personality at all. And of course, I immediately thought of you, and I said, thank you, John, I'm in.
And the rest was history. Elizabeth, for you, the Scarlet Witch is a character that many fans really wanted to see on screen. So when you first, whether it be auditioned or was asked to do the role, did you know who you were going in for? Like, did you?
No, I didn't actually. My brother, who's here today, he has a company he works with, has a booth up here, but he is the one who explained to me the potential characters that I could be meeting about just as a fan of Marvel. And so he prepped me, and one of them was Scarlet Witch, and so I knew a bit about the character. But the first thing that Joss Whedon told me was, I'm going to tell you about this character, and then you're going to look her up in a comic book, and I'm telling you, you will not be in a leotard. And then they put me in a leotard for WandaVision, and I loved it.
What were the, out of curiosity, what were the other characters that you potentially thought the character could be?
I think there's like some Guardians characters. I think we knew that Guardians was potentially going to happen as fans, and so there was a few of those characters my brother also prepped me on.
Now, we see your character's first appearance in a post-credit scene. Was that shot before you even started shooting the Avengers movie?
Yes.
It was?
Yeah, we shot that before, which was kind of amazing because it gave us this like beginning foundation of where they were coming from, and we kind of got to make them as twisted as we wanted to in that moment. It was really kind of a free couple of days.
Now, Paul, I can't imagine when you first get the call for Jarvis that you have any intention of wearing any kind of costume or having makeup or prosthetics on. I'm sure that that's not something that crosses your mind when you're just asked to play Jarvis. So how did the conversation come about for you to play Vision?
Oh, it's a good story. I had just been told by a producer that my career was over and I would never work again. And Joss Whedon called up and said, do you want to play the Vision? And I said, yeah, I really want to play the Vision. And that was that.
I really hope this producer now is like, wow, I got it wrong. I completely missed the mark on that one. When you guys first show up in Avengers Age of Ultron in your costumes, what's the first memory that you have of putting your costume on? Elizabeth, also, just real quick, also just recently saw, I don't know if they're test photos, but they just recently were released of like photos of you doing, I don't know, test costume stuff. So what was the first initial reaction you felt when you saw yourself in the costume?
The superhero costume?
In the superhero
Oh,
costume.
I couldn't even sit down in it.
Really?
It was so non-functional. It was just for a day of standing. It could never be used again. I'm trying to remember, was that the end scene of Age of Ultron, maybe? Or was that what it was? Or is it Civil War?
It's Age of Ultron,
Age of
I believe,
Ultron,
where they introduced the new lineup of Avengers.
Yes, and it truly is the craziest costume, and we never used it again besides that one day because you couldn't use the restroom, you couldn't sit, and you could hardly walk. So it's very useless if you're trying to fight anyone, you know. So that I just remember being very confused on how it functioned.
Imagine. Paul, how about you? Because your ears are covered. You're like made in heavy like paint makeup. Like how was it for you?
Well, before the costume, there was actually a costume where there was no costume, and it was all makeup. And they glued things to me.
Really?
Yeah, I had no costume. I was a little nervous, as you can imagine, to show up in my trailer to get into my costume. It was just a pair of underpants. It was nerve-wracking. And then they started sticking things to me, and it took about 5 hours, and then it took about 4 hours to get off. And they realized, oh, we can't shoot it. So then they made me a costume.
So it was. They made you a costume mostly done out of efficiency to save money, essentially. That's incredible.
I mean, what they do in X-Men is what with oh gosh, what's that character? Mystique. That's how Mystique isn't naked costume painted on her, but you didn't want to do that. You're not as tough as those women, Paul.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry, I love him so much.
Oh, right.
Hold on.
Hold your horses. I was champing at the bit to be naked. No, I think it was a production thing, but that is super great.
Yeah, it was, I think, for like 8 hours, Mystique, so they're in makeup or something really crazy. And then they're working for 4 hours. Yeah, it's crazy.
How long were you in makeup for full Vision prosthetic?
It's changed over the years because initially a lot of it was makeup, and that was like 3 hours. But now it's about an hour and a half.
I mean, his patience is insane. The touch-ups throughout the day, and when he had his ears covered, he would have to just lean over. Am I allowed to say that? He would just have to lean over and remove a bit of an ear, and it would just be dripping sweat. So we're filming in Atlanta during the summertime. It was unbelievable.
Super romantic.
That does not sound fun. But the finished product came out looking amazing. So there you go. What was your first reaction when you guys saw each other in concert?
Oh, I think I was having an out-body experience anyway that day. That my first day. I had a huge speech, and I couldn't hear anybody. Joss Whedon was giving me notes. I know that Downey made a speech. I didn't hear anything. I just
And
couldn't
no
hear.
one remembered their cues that day as well.
So true.
And so there's just a lot of awkward pauses that had to be edited out of the movie. It was a strange first day.
Really weird, but all I could hear was myself in my head. It was so off-putting. It was horrible.
Incredible. Now, fans have watched Wanda and Vision's love story unfold throughout the MCU. What's been the most funny or unexpected reaction you've had about the on-screen romance between Wanda and Vision? From fans, I guess.
I mean, I feel like the expectations of our characters eventually coming together was something we had hoped for and something that wasn't guaranteed to us. And so Paul and I, in Age of Ultron, tried to find these moments where fans would at least know what's going to come potentially. And we wanted to play into it and kind of like nudge producers to say that we really want these characters to go in that direction. And so we invested in it from the beginning. So I guess the unexpected thing was WandaVision, and also because we hadn't done television yet. And so we were the first TV show on Disney Plus for that, and one of the first Disney Plus TV shows at all. And so I think that was a huge unexpected, not for fans.
I mean, WandaVision is incredible. That show blew me away. Now, let me bring you guys back, because that was during the beginning of the pandemic, if you guys will remember. And I remember watching that show and being completely blown away by what they were giving us. And Matt Shakman, I think, to his credit, such a fantastic character. I love the fact that every single episode took us through a different era of comedy television, sitcom television, whatever it may be. Out of curiosity, did you have a favorite era working on that show? Was it done practically in the way that they would do things back then? It was.
Yeah, we would use the same camera lenses, and everything was like vintage lenses they would find from whatever era we were shooting in. It was really it was amazing, the attention that was put, the attention to detail that was put into it. I just found every decade to be so much fun.
Yeah, for different reasons. I mean, I suppose clothing-wise, I really loved our 70s.
I was in a very pregnant suit for that era.
That's true.
And that was
And I like your 80s.
the 80s were the things I think that was what I really loved, was the 80s looks. I loved having my suspenders.
I have no sideburns.
Yeah.
You really creeped out.
Catherine Hahn was such a phenomenal piece of casting with Agatha in that show. When you knew that she was joining the project, did you realize that Agatha was going to take off the way that she has, even getting her own Disney Plus series as well?
I mean, she was chewing up the scenery on every day on set. She was so funny. She was always coming up with such great bits, and I'm not surprised at all that the Agatha song. I'm always sorry.
Agatha All Along.
Agatha All Along song. That was Agatha All Along, right? That it became like number one on whatever it was, Apple Music or something crazy, like the charts, whatever that means anymore. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Catherine's amazing.
Now, working on, you were saying that Matt Shakman used old school camera, old school techniques. What did that version of filmmaking with him teach you guys about the process, your guys' process? Or is there a different outlook at all when you're doing a different style of filmmaking, like
Oh, for sure, yeah. The first episode was filmed before a live audience.
real life studio?
Yeah, and multi-cameras. It was like the whole thing, the way you would do it for the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah, so we literally rehearsed it for like 3 days, and then we did it once. And that's the show that you see. I mean, it was, and I was so terrified. I really didn't want to do it. I really pushed back and said, I don't think we should have an audience. I haven't been on stage for 25 years. I'm terrified. I don't want to do it. I got my first laugh, and I'm so shallow that the moment people started laughing at my jokes, which I didn't write. I was like, I've wasted my entire life. I should have been in a sitcom. I had wasted my entire career. What have I been doing?
Now, when you guys are first working on Avengers Age of Ultron, how much of the characters are kind of pitched to you in their overarching story within the MCU? Because it seems like WandaVision, at least for you guys, kind of came out of nowhere.
No, I've never been pitched more than like one thing at a time. Pretty much.
This puts to rest those rumors if you know, Wanda's far future, if she's back, things, you know, all that stuff. So you're only pitched one project at a time.
Yeah, basically. When I went into WandaVision, like I had no idea what was. I mean, I had an idea that I was going to be a Doctor Strange. I had an idea of that, but I thought I was in an ensemble cast, and I thought I was one of the good guys. And then 3 weeks before I was sent to London, they said, "You're our lead villain," and I had no clue. And I had finished filming WandaVision, and I was like, "Oh, it would have been helpful to have known that, just so I could have pulled a thread through a bit." But I think the story told itself, and I was able to kind of massage things in Doctor Strange to hopefully tell a different story for her. But yeah, no, it's truly just one at a time. At least that's when I'm finished. Yeah.
I know, obviously, these are comic book characters that have such a long history with the printed stuff. But the question I have for you is, do you guys go? I know that's where the research kind of is. But do you guys go even further and pull out things from other genres to infuse within these characters?
Yeah, I do it a lot specifically with movement. So with the people, there's multiple women that I worked with to help create Scarlet Witch's movement, and we start with bringing the images to life, and how do we hit certain images that are iconic, that maybe have nothing to do with the storyline. And so that's something I'm really cautious of. There's some like Witches Row stuff that was in WandaVision, even though it's not exactly the same story, but the use of the hood and things like that you just try to incorporate into the costumes and into the if it's really the fans that can maybe notice those, and so it's those kinds of details that have been fun to pick out of the comics that aren't necessarily on the page.
How about for yourself, Paul? Like, does the research go for you beyond the comic book character?
Yeah, but for me it's mostly a sort of human, you know, I mean, being a robot is sort of taken care of by the costume. And so, I don't know, I think what we discovered with WandaVision is what a broad church Marvel can be. And films like this are large, and you can talk to a lot of people. And I think that's what Jack Schaefer did, and very much. And, you know, what Elizabeth with her performance, a story of a woman in grief, I think really spoke to a lot of people in a genuinely beautiful and helpful way. So I think, and you know, to be part of that, I really didn't want to mess that up. And so to be a part of that was mostly about just being human and present and thinking about actually grief.
You know, speaking of grief, I think that you have one of the most iconic lines of any MCU project. With what is grief if not love persevering?
Co-written by Paul Bettany himself.
Is that really?
Well, kind of. Actually, it was an assistant. Jack's assistant came in with a cup of coffee, and we'd been working on what that line should be, and she was the one that really came up with it and nailed it. But if you've watched that, the truth of why that line is I think really powerful and really played for people is it doesn't play on me. It cameras on Lizzie receiving that line. It's actually what she does, I think, that makes her receptiveness to those words that makes them iconic.
Such an iconic iconic moment, probably the best line of the whole MCU, I would say. But for you, being in that scene and delivering that line, did you realize and know that it was going to have the impact and go as viral as it did after the fact?
No, I knew it was a really good line.
It was interesting. I mean, I don't think you ever know if something's going to resonate with anyone, really. But I think that what as someone who wasn't obsessing over the line, Paul really flagged it early on, and it was like a problem that he needed to solve, and raised his hand and said, I feel like we can really nail something down about this entire show at this moment, and he was agonizing over it. So I do think it's it's really this idea of yes, we're playing superheroes, but what we're trying to do more than anything is figure out how to tell this story as best possible, and we do care a lot about it. And Paul truly, for weeks, had been trying to figure out how to make that line better. And so I do think it's a testament to just a true care for these characters we're playing, and really hoping to land it with fans. And that is because, so I think that's why it lands, because someone cared so much to figure out how to make it as clear and poignant as possible.
Jack Shaver's assistant, one of the unsung heroes of WandaVision. Credit deserved. Wow, that's amazing. Listen, as a guy that started off as a PA, I love hearing stories like that. That's incredible. Now, look, Vision has multiple fates. White Vision, Lost Memories, Death, Kids. What are you excited to explore the most in Vision?
Well, I can't say too much about it, and we've already shot it, so I've already explored it. But I saw a lot just yesterday, and it's fantastic. And I'm really excited for you all to see it. And it is about lots of things, and it's super exciting, but in the same way that WandaVision was about grief, and if you said that before, you go, oh, should I watch that show? It's sort of about intergenerational trauma. It really is.
Sounds fun, Paul!
We're in for a good time.
And it's about fathers and sons and stuff, and denial of pain, and denial of your own truth, and coming to terms with who and what you are, and what you could be. I think one of the things that's really powerful about the character is that he's always in a state of flux and change, and I think that's really important. I think that's really important for people, and very important for what turns out to be the fans of WandaVision. I think that, and I guess our lane in the Marvel universe is that you are the person that you think you are, despite what everybody else might say.
I love that. Would you say that this is a direct sequel to WandaVision?
No, but I would say it's absolutely rightly part of the trilogy. And of course, it remains on some very deep level about Vision's love of Wanda and Vision. With fights.
I want to talk about working with the Russos, because you guys were in Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. I feel like that is a massive task to handle. Can you talk about your experience working on those films with the Russos?
I mean, there's like 5 sets going on at any given moment, between the sunset, the B unit shooting drone shots, and then one brother has one set, the other brother has another set. It's just so much multitasking at the same time that truly only two people can handle it. And they do it with such confidence and ease, and they're not stressed at all. It's absolutely shocking. Nothing really ruffles them. They think everything's a solvable problem. So it creates this this real ease on a set that can probably feel very chaotic.
Working with the Russo brothers and these large, massive casts, what are some of your fondest memories when all of you guys are together? Because I feel like it's a rarity to get all of you guys in the same room.
Awful for everyone to wrangle us. Everyone's trying to be the funniest person in the room, and it's exhausting. Right?
It really is. I remember being in one scene, and if I'm being totally honest, it was a pig of a scene. It was just so hard, and I remember reading the scene thinking this is going to be a nightmare, and then we started, and you know, like, Mark Ruffalo said his thing, and I was like, well, that was pretty good, actually. And then, you know, Don Cheadle did his bit, and I was like, actually, that was pretty good. And then Scarlet did her bit, and I went, wow, really good at shining that. And then you did your bit, and I was like, holy cow, that was so good. And then somebody went, Paul, it's your line. You know, so I do think it's lovely when you are all together and you get to see actually how fantastic and talented these people are.
Now, I know that you guys have done your homework on these characters, explored them a ton, especially with the comics. Are there any comic storylines that the MCU hasn't explored yet that you hope that they get to with your characters? Yeah? Any in particular?
I mean, I just think House of M is just... I don't know how to make it make sense, you guys, but maybe there's some fan pitches or theories out there. But I just think it could be so fun to deal with X-Men and Avengers and no mutants. So I don't know.
I feel like I can see the wheels turning in your head right now as we talk about it. Because I also
It would be fun.
How about you, Paul? Any vision stories that you've explored that they haven't done in the MCU yet?
There are loads. I love I mean, on some level, in a kind of meta way, you know, visions. I think that's that whole story is highly fantastic. Real different take, and horror take. So yeah, that would be fun. But I'm super happy with kind of where they're going, where I think they're going in the next couple.
That's a great answer. I feel like you were dancing around a lot. Respect I and other Marvel type too.
If I say anything, I'll lose my job.
Probably you and me both. So, you know, the Avengers movies are obviously, I don't know if they're wrapped, if they're done or whatever. What are you hoping? What are you hoping to see with this next phase of the MCU as we leave the multiverse saga?
A massive paycheck.
It's coming.
I mean, I hope we continue to surprise ourselves in the audience. Like, I think that's what keeps people coming back is to not rely on old tricks. And so that's what I hope for.
With a show like WandaVision, especially like really changing the game more what the MCU is doing, what Marvel is doing. We've had so much content come out recently. What do you think the strategy is now to make sure that everything kind of stands alone and keep up with it?
I have absolutely no clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair answer.
No one's asking us for strategy.
I mean, look, I'll tell you what, if we get that House of M, I think that would be amazing. That would be pretty awesome. What's been your favorite version of Wanda to play? I mean, we've had her in WandaVision, Age of Ultron, Marvel Zombies, even.
I don't even remember what year it was when I did the recording for that.
Really?
I it could have been 4 years ago, it could have been 3 years ago. I couldn't tell you.
Well, just recently dropped on Disney Plus.
I just heard from so many of you.
Are you guys going to take fan questions?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I know we have a ton of questions out here. We'll go to you. Right there. Yeah, we have a mic here. If not, I'll do that. Here. Hand this to you.
Thank you, Joe. My question is for Lizzie Olsen. First of all, you're so beautiful inside and out.
Thank you, Paul.
And you've given so much heart to every character that you play. So I was wondering if that has ever inspired you to ever direct your own project someday? Because you're so talented and you've inspired so many of us more than you can realize. Take the compliment.
I don't know. Maybe I'll direct something one day.
Can I be in it?
I'll be the first Paul. I don't know. Paul's directed a beautiful feature, and I don't know. It's something I'd like to do, but it needs to be something that is completely mine, that I'm obsessed with, and there are a couple collaborations that I really am enjoying right now where I'm more hands-on, and I hope that they're capable of being made. You never really know, but you just kind of spend your time off caring about something else that you hope will have seen the light of day. And so I'm not sure what will, but it's something I think about, but it's not something I'm actively pursuing right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Right here in the pink.
So I just want to say, Paul, one of my favorite movies of all time is A Knight's Tale. It was my mom's favorite movie, and she passed when I was little, so it's one of the things that bonds us. But I just wanted to ask if you guys have a TV show or a movie that you feel that emotionally connected to.
Beautiful Mind's one of mine, actually, and I felt very lucky.
Is this the Titanic cosplay?
At that wild dinner with a bunch of other people. It was such a funny dinner, but that was a really important movie to me in that way. And so to talk to Jen and Paul about it, I don't know, it's when we were filming Age of Ultron. It was that long ago. Yeah. So that was, I know, that was 10 years ago or something. Yeah.
Crazy. Time goes by fast.
For me, you mean like a comfort thing? Oh, I don't know.
That was not, I was, one that made me emotional immediately thinking about it was one. Comfort is First Wives Club. That's something else.
I don't know, maybe like Princess Bride or something.
That's one I hope that they
Makes so
never
much
use.
sense for me, sorry.
No, it's
Or
okay.
maybe It's a Wonderful Life. Christmas.
Second person that we talked to on the panel said Wonderful Life is one of their comfort films. It's a great film. We got more hands. We got this guy in the blue shirt.
Thank you very much, guys, for letting me ask this question. Okay, personality speaking, which part of the characters do you think you guys have in your regular life for WandaVision?
Which part of the characters do you guys think you have in your regular life? Embodying it.
I think it changes, I mean, there's so much of, with work, it's like you have a story that, it almost forces you to have to dig for something inside yourself, and so there's always something. And whether it's with WandaVision, you start digging into something else that maybe that is more about grief or repression or loss or love. And then with Doctor Strange, it's something else. It's anger and a lot of anger and resentment and fear. And so I think depending on what the story is, our jobs are to potentially look inward and see what we can pull in from ourselves to make that story function or work or be imbued with like a soul. And so I think there's always something.
Yeah, I think it's so eloquently answered. I think that, yes, it's different each time. Like in WandaVision, there was a goofiness to Vision in that I have in my daily life, and also in Vision Quest, for instance, there are big questions to ask yourself about what it is to be a father and what it is to be a son, and those are questions that I have, of course, asked myself as a father of 3 children. And yeah, so I think it changes all the time.
Incredible, thank you. Who else we got? Right here? Hi.
You explored the darker side of the Scarlet Witch. What was it like to be the queen of the dead in your movie?
What is it like to be the queen of the dead? You guys, I truly recorded that years ago. And
You can't remember.
I can't remember anything. I can't remember anything. I need to watch it. I have no idea what Marvel something happens. I filmed it. It's my voice. I did it in my house. I wasn't even in an office space. Like, I'm so confused. I was like, this must have been 2020. Was it 2021? Why was I working in my house and not in a studio? So I really have no idea what it was like. I'm so sorry.
It could have been during the pandemic era, now that we're talking about it.
That's how long animation takes. Animation takes ages.
I mean, the animation is pretty cool. It looks pretty amazing. Let's see what we got. Over here, this guy in the red hat.
Thanks for Paul. Like the last guy said, Knight's Tale was one of my favorite movies. And one of the best scenes is your being the herald for the last night at the very end. Has anybody asked you to do a speech for them to introduce them to something like you did for Heath Ledger at the end of that movie?
Yeah, it was a really long time ago. I mean, it's like another lifetime ago. And people do come up, sometimes people come up to me on the street. I literally can't remember. I can't remember any of it. I saw it when it first came out. I've never seen it again since. There are lots of reasons for that, and one is just one of them is that I miss Heath too.
Awesome. Let's go right here. Good and black here.
Wonder Man's coming to the MCU on Disney Plus. Wanda and Vision are part of a love triangle with Wonder Man. How would you like to see that love affair that is to be told in the MCU between you two and Wonder Man? I think both of the gentlemen are fighting for the ladies, so.
Wonder Man's coming to the MCU, and in the comics there's a bit of a love triangle between Wonder Man, Vision, and Wanda. Is that something that you would like to see played out on the screen?
I feel like I'm too old for that.
Vision has to deal with kids now.
I just made a movie about not a love triangle, but a woman who's choosing between her 2 dead husbands in the afterlife. And so I feel like I feel okay with not doing another movie about 2 men wanting my love or something for a minute.
Good answer.
That sounds like one of them should be so patient. Okay, yeah, good.
You guys are incredibly talented actors, and of course acting offers a unique opportunity to explore lived experiences different than our own. So I'm curious, what is a human experience, good or bad, that you would like to explore on screen that either you haven't yet or that you'd like to explore further?
Great question. It really is, and it does. There are so many narcissistic, self-serving things that you get from this job, and you have absolutely identified
Olsen,
the
and
one
told her about
bit
killing.
that's edifying, which is placing yourself in somebody else's circumstance and imagining what you would do. And for me, it really is the most moving bit of our job. It's just, I think it really helps you stretch and work out, empathy muscle in a great way. I don't know specifically, in my head specifically, some thing that I would like to explore. What I do know is that if I was just confined to playing one thing that I just am, forever I'd hang up my acting tights because it would be too boring.
That's a great answer too. Let's see.
So Wanda is one of the first big female protagonists in the MCU that are in a relationship and also super powerful characters. Obviously, we have Natasha and Bruce, but we didn't get to explore that as much as Gamora here. But we also didn't get to explore that too much. We did, and also Gamora has she's like us, but Wanda is a very, very powerful superhero. So, was there any discussions during shooting about you being a strong female character and also having a really strong relationship with your strong
Great question, because there's usually it's usually quite binary. It's like traditional forms of storytelling. You're either a romantic interest or you're a hero protagonist. And it was I don't know. I think it might have been something that J.A.R.V.I.S and I spoke about once. I'm not sure, but I do know what she and I did talk about when we were doing WandaVision was this idea of the many things a woman can be, even as a mother, which is why it was so nice getting to go through the different decades of what are expected of mothers, and Wanda sort of breaking down in Modern Family style in her depression, basically. And so I do think the show was always meant to embrace all the complexities and the many different hats women do wear, whether it is them being a big leader, defender, strong, strength of their family, or a depressed woman who just can't get out of bed. And I think all of those things we tried to embrace with her, which I know was important to J.A.R.V.I.S. So we had those kinds of conversations, maybe not so much just the love and powerful part, but it was about hoping to embrace all those complexities and showcase them in a superhero.
So you guys first started playing these roles 10 years ago or so. What 10 years ago, right? It's crazy. But we've seen the journey of love, loss, parenthood, grief. What have you learned about yourself through playing Wanda and Vision?
I mean, this might not be specifically from the character, but what I've loved most every time I get the opportunity to be put back in her shoes is almost just as a storyteller, trying to figure out how to place something in a surprising way, something that maybe hasn't been seen yet of the character, and you do need story to back that up for you. And so it's been about that really, and it's been really fun. So that because I really do want you guys to be surprised, and so it's sometimes hard when you feel like, oh God, I've been able to do so much with her. How can I try to surprise people? And I'm not sure what that is yet. I kind of need a story to help figure that out. But that's been the biggest gift for me, has been really trying to be as creative as possible with doing something that hopefully is exciting and new and surprising for our audiences.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I would agree with that. totally. But I also think that I think he's made me less. Well, I don't know, because I've been doing it for so long, now. I don't know whether it's also just me growing up, finally. I feel less judgmental as a person. I think that Vision's a very unjudgmental person, and I feel less definitive about my position on things. And I think that he is open, he's very open and unjudgmental as a character. So maybe that's a bit Vision rubbing off on me, or maybe I'm just finally becoming a less awful person.
It goes the other way, right?
That's true.
We really just kind of like tighten up and really double down.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe Vision's allowed you to not do that.
I'm still judgmental about grown men in shorts.
There's probably so many people in shorts here right now.
I know.
Very warm.
I'm not saying it's their problem, it's my problem.
Yeah, it is your problem.
Not a shorts guy problem? I will literally pack a pair of trousers in a dive bag, so that if I'm eating in a cafe on a beach, I'm not eating in shorts, because it's just unacceptable.
Oh my God, my husband's always in shorts. He loves shorts. And I love his little legs.
Your delivery of "I love his little legs." That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
So that's where we're drawing the line is sports. That is the appropriate time.
Well, hiking is that a sport?
Yes, if you're about to do an athletic event, or you're right by a body of water. And yes, but if you're in New York City, what are you doing wearing shorts? Sometimes, unless you're a child. New York, though. I know, I live there. I've got trousers.
You're built differently, my friend.
Well, you can only see my legs.
On that note, I think that's all the time we have, unfortunately. But for all of you guys that want to meet them, I'm pretty sure I think it might be sold out for your guys' photo op and meeting you guys. But if not, they're here. Meet them at their booth. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for still caring.
Hey, it's an amazing show. You guys are amazing at what you do. Let's hear for Paul Bettany and